Hello everyone, my name is Clay, and welcome to First Impact, the show where I take a quick first impressions look at various games after playing them for at least 2 hours. Today I'll be looking at the early access dark fantasy Metroidvania known as Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights. Yeah, that name's a mouthful. Full disclosure, I did receive a key from a PR team on behalf of the devs for the purposes of this review. So what is Ender Lilies? Well, as I said, it's a dark fantasy Metroidvania and reminds me a great deal of games like Dead Cells, Castlevania, and Hollow Knight. It's much more Souls-like in its combat, with you having to time attacks based on enemy patterns, dodge, and so on. There is a story here, but it's told almost passively with a heavy emphasis on environmental style storytelling. You are Lily, the White Priestess. You wake up in a room with no memory of who you are, how you got there, and with a ghost knight talking to you, telling you that he is tied to you. From there, you venture into a world that has been destroyed and mutated by some sort of blight, and you have the ability to purify the blight out of beings. And that's all I know. The environments themselves, however, are wonderful to look at and really do tell the story of a once great but now ruined world. The art style used for both the characters and world is fantastic, and the little touches on how Lily reacts to things is perfect. She's not a fighter, and when she attacks, it's really the ghost knight doing the work. She herself will flinch back as if worried about getting hit. It's a little touch, but it helps to give personality to what mostly is a silent protagonist. Lily doesn't seem to talk, but her ghost protector does. Another thing I have to comment on is the soundtrack. Real fast, there's no voice acting in this game, so get ready to read, but the music. Dear God, the music. Here, let me give you like 30 seconds of the soundtrack without me speaking. From what I have been told, the soundtrack is by a band called Project Millie, which I will link in the description box below. The haunting music perfectly adds to the atmosphere of loss and sadness that this game seems to be going for. As far as gameplay goes, it's a 2D side-scrolling action platformer. Basically, again, if you think of games like Castlevania, Dead Cells, or Hollow Knight, you're not going to be far off. Combat is methodical and precise. Enemies will telegraph their attacks, usually by having a kind of eye glow, and you need to make sure you dodge or move to get out of the way. Hits against your character Lily will hurt severely. Your dodge doesn't seem to have a stamina meter or anything, thankfully, but there is a slight recovery delay, so be aware of that. You can also heal yourself by praying, which is this game's Estus Flask, but only 3 times at the start, without either finding white flowers in the world or resting at a bench, which is also how you save. You can also unlock sub-weapons in the form of spirits. As you fight bosses, you will purify them, and then get the ability to slot them onto your character as sub-weapons. These weapons have limited uses, which are refilled from red flowers or again by resting at a bench. You can have 2 sub-weapons equipped, along with your knight, and you can also have 2 weapon sets set up separately with a toggle button. There's also an upgrade system for your spirits, which improves their power, their uses, and so on. It's not super complicated, but it does add a bit of depth, and lets you customize your playstyle. I do have to say that the UI for setting up your sub-weapons is not really explained well, and when I first was messing with it I thought I had to set them up on the second weapon set, but in reality you can set them up on both weapon sets, and it's weird and it needs to be better explained. Overall, for an early access title, Ender Lilies has quite a bit of potential in my opinion. Its gameplay is solid, and its visual presentation and music are incredible. It's $20 right now on Steam, and I'm unsure if the price is going to increase, so bear that in mind. I would definitely say it's worth that price if you're looking for a game to scratch that Metroidvania itch, but if you're looking for something that brings new mechanics to the genre, you're gonna want to look elsewhere. As always, I want to thank you all so very much for watching. Please treat each other kindly, stay nerdy, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.